All right, so this call is being recorded. I will drop the recording inside the, well, not the recording, the YouTube link inside the Telegram group for you all to watch and study later. I'm going to kind of talk about DJ and what I saw this week, going from last week, moving into this week. The month of April actually kind of gave some really good trading opportunities, really good intraday plays, a couple of swing opportunities as well. So, I mean, you guys will get a chance to kind of see what it's like to kind of do some journaling, to kind of see my approach to the market, the things that I use, some of the tools like the relative strength index. We'll talk about moving averages. We'll talk a little bit about the MACD. Those are just two of some of my favorite indicators. So we're live on YouTube. All right, the Zoom link is up. Miss Yolanda, are you able to hear me on Zoom?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So typically what I like to do, I start us off, and then if anybody has anything that they want to share, or if you want to look at a chart, we can do that too. So you can actually use this as your study material. So again, I will send this over to everybody. And let's get started. All right, so looking at GJ, let me make sure my screen is being shared. And I'm still waiting on my other phone to upload so I can get on Zoom from there. Screen 2. And Ms. Veronica, Ms. Yolanda, you see my screen, right?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So talking about GJ this morning, what did I see on the pound yen? Well, I was bullish since April 4th. Yep, since April 4th. April 4th, April 5th. Mad that I did not hold my trades from early positions like down here. This would have been a really nice trade if I would have held it for a number of days, 448 pips. But I like to kind of stack my trades when it's time to stack. So definitely would have been a little bit more. Price did kind of consolidate in some areas. So I'll mark off my zone using the line chart. Typically what I'll do is I'll have the line chart pulled up and I'll have the candlestick. But I'm gonna just kind of flip between the two. All right, so now what I typically look for, there's a picture that I want to share. What I typically look for is market structure. You're probably wondering, especially if you're new to the channel or if you're new to following me, well, Michael, what is market structure, right? Well, market structure is just the direction that the market moves in. So the three directions are up, down, sideways, right? Let me see if I can find a picture in our Telegram group that explains market structure really quick. So just bear with me for a second. Let me see if I can find it. We have so many pictures in this Telegram group. It's ridiculous. I need to kind of clean it up, but those are some screenshots that I need for my PDF that I'm going to be working on. Okay. That's one, but that's not the one that I'm looking for. Y'all bear with me. 1 second. It's a picture of market structure. And you'll be able to see higher highs, higher lows, things like that. So As soon as I find it, I'll share that picture. If not, I might have to send it to myself on Telegram. Yes, I found it. So it's in my saved messages. There we go. So this is the picture that you would, it's actually three pictures that you can look for, but this is the main one right here. And let me do a different screen share really quick. So we'll go to media viewer. This is the picture. So in the beginning, when I was first introduced to trading was new to me. Seemed very hard at first. I just had to get used to the lingo. And one thing that really did help me with trading was understanding this right here, because I can remember I would take trades and I never understood why did I lose the trade. I had a really good entry, right? Wrong direction. So as I started to watch, individuals in the platform that I learned from, all of the educators kept saying this word, market structure, market structure, market structure. I'm just like, what is it? Until one of them actually explained it. So he explained it, and I was like, oh, you know what? Man, that actually makes sense. So he helped me to see, if you can identify this, you can trade anything, right? As long as you identify your starting points, it could be a low, it could be a high, right? But the market has to come from somewhere. So I typically like to look for those areas on my chart. Once I see that, now I can start labeling my highs, my lows, my higher highs, higher lows, or lower highs, lower lows, if that makes sense, right? So once I see that, I'm like, okay, so we're going up the stairs, then we're going down the stairs, then we can just chop and go sideways. I said, okay, cool. I'm gonna print this out, right? The next picture that I ended up finding was this one. Well, how does it look? So this is typically what I'm looking for, right? A bullish trend, right? Higher highs, higher lows. Your starting point, you have to find the low. Typically, I like to see a break and close above a previous high or lower high. Look for that retest to get in. So as long as I'm trading with the trend, Mike is good, right? And let's look at the last one. This is what a downtrend looks like. Now, will it always be perfect? No. Sometimes the market will really look like this, right? Now, personally, right, there's some areas where I probably would have taken the trade, okay? I like this area right here. Would have been really nice. I do like, of course, this area here because I got 3 touches of this high. This last touch would be the retest. The next ideal area probably for me would have been looking right here. So as the market pushed down, it pushed up, pulled back, went lower, created the lower high right here, pushed down. Now, here's a little, not necessarily secret, but here's something that I also noticed too when I started doing some trading, right? I started to notice the letter of alphabets, right? The letter M, the letter W, the letter V. And I'm just like, man, so I can actually spot these letters and it can actually help me with identifying my structure levels, right? So I see this here. This is my lower high, right? So as prices continue on down, hey, I take my trade. I'm in there. I'm good to go. Yeah, I pulled back up now. Kind of would have had this area marked off as well too, and let the wick be my last area to look at, just to see how price trades off of this level. So this was actually a really nice setup. This would kind of be like my B setup, secondary setup. So as price continued on down, I catch the trade, boom, we in there, and I would have highlighted this area right here as well. So these wicks, for me, tell a nice little story. I'm in there, I see my trades, I take it, go about my day, right? So that's typically what I like to look for when I'm trading market structure, lower highs, lower lows, higher lows, things of that nature. Let's go back to the chart. So that's what I look for, and once I see it, great. I also use support and resistance. I think a lot of people, especially new people, overlook, the basics, right? Support, resistance, trend lines, waiting for the break and close, the retest, things of that nature. Um, as you can see, I like having a naked chart, but there are times where I will throw on the RSI or the MACD or the moving averages just to kind of see, okay, what can I see with the naked chart that I didn't see with my other tools, or vice versa? What did I see with my tools like the RSI, the MACD, the moving averages that I didn't see with my naked chart? So when I see that, I'm able to it helps me dissect my chart just a little bit better, right? Helps me dissect my chart because I can go through certain strategies that I learned in the past, patterns that I learned in the past. Hey, can you see this pattern, or can you see this strategy play out? Okay, great. It helps me to lean towards, okay, this is actually a solid trade to get in. We might be consolidating for a minute, so we got ample time, right? But let's kind of move forward. So looking at this trade, remember how we were saying how previous highs or lower highs, what I would want to see, everywhere you see a purple box, these are areas where I would have gotten in for buys, right? But I would need for the market to do what? So this is my ideal setup, right? Number one. Number two would be just above it, the second area. That's my number two, right? That's my number two. And all I want to do is just wait for the last kiss of that zone. All right. Same thing right up here. So I can see the market now, doing this thing. It's trending where? It's trending upwards. It's trending upwards. So I like to connect my data points like so. I have my touches. So now when I put it on with the candlesticks, right? Boom. 1, 2, wicked off the zone. I can take my trade there. So as I created my rules to enter and exit the trade, that's it. I just follow it, place my trade, use proper risk management, go about my day, right? So, price did its thing, went up, consolidated, retested some levels, went right back up, hit the high. So last night I was at work, and I caught the buy from this level right here, this area here. Caught a nice little buy from here, right? Had another buy entry right around here when price finally broke above, right? When we closed above, it pulled back on me, but I stayed in it, And I stayed in it throughout all of this, right? Now, I wanted to see this move happen here. So where this, let's change this color to, let's say, what's a good color? Miss Veronica or Miss Yolanda, what's your favorite color?
Purple.
Purple. Let's go with purple. All right. I'm gonna delete these other ones so we know which one we're talking about. So what I wanted to see happen, right? We did get the break and close above, right? Here's the breaking candle. So let's zoom in. This is the breaking candle. This was the retest candle. It did go up, but look at where we reacted off of. We reacted right off of this level here. Now, why did price stop here? Well, if I scroll over to the left, we will see why. Now, I want you all to keep in mind this price of 167.877. 167.877. So we're going to scroll left and we're going to look to see if we can see that price. And there it is right there. 167.877. I can delete some of these black lines right now. You know, everybody that's on YouTube are probably like, man, you got a lot of black lines. All right, so we're just talking about 167.877. So let's 877. So right here, we can see how price acted as support. And then when price finally broke below, so we had a full candle break here and we went lower. We let price pull back and retest the previous lower high or resistance level. And then it dropped. So what does that tell Micah? Well, because in the past, this was in December, right? This was December 16th of 2022, because buyers were not able to push the market back up. Who do you think took control of the market at that price? Who would you say, Miss Veronica or Miss Yolanda? Who do you think took control of the market? I'll give you a hint.
Buyer.
I'll give you a hint. Do you buy low or do you sell high? If this is a high, what do you do?
You buy low, right?
Nope. If
No.
think about let's think about.
Oh yes, you would sell high. You're right. You would sell high.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Because remember, the scenario of a bullish trend, we have to see this move happen, right? We have to see this happen in order for it to be a really a bullish market. Really bullish market. It has to break, close above, pull back and retest the area that was broken, and continue up higher. So because it didn't give us this scenario, we couldn't say, hey, we're still in the bullish market like we was April 21st to April 25th. So if you look where this arrow is right here, this was the left side, right? Tell me what letter of the alphabet can you see? What letter of the alphabet can you see? Now, price didn't come all the way to it, right? It doesn't look like, what
Like
was
an M?
that? Yeah, right. It looks like an M. Very good. Now, does it come all the way back to that level? No, but it does wick that level, right? It does wick that level. So wicks represents exhaustion. So when we look at that chart, when we look at it, it looks something like this, right? Looks something like that. You see how it wicked that same area that was to the left? That's exhaustion. Buyers couldn't push past that level. So when I saw that early this morning, I said, okay, this is possible. It's possible that, we're not going to continue up. Now, this was the next level that I was watching. Because if I was going to buy, I was going to buy right here. This is my area of interest. Now, guess what? It did buy. See that? It did buy up. So this little area gave me 34 pips in and out. But for me, the market is now changing directions. Because after we hit a resistance level, what direction are we starting to head?
Down.
Yep, starting to head down. Starting to head down. So what does that mean? Well, you have to be okay with adjusting your trades, right? If it's time to sell, sell. When it's time to buy, buy. Right? It's okay to change your bias, right? Your bias should change when structure changes. Your bias should change when structure changes. So when the educators that I learned from and when my mentor told me that, I was like, you know what? That makes sense. Because there were trades that I took and it was a cup and handle, and my right entry, my stop loss would have been my take profit. So instead of me looking for the sell, I should have been looking for the buys, because the market basically broke above my entry, which was a resistance level. And then when price closed above, it retested as support and continued. I was like, that makes sense now. That makes sense. It's like it started to click. It started to click. So that's the reason why I took a sale on GJ, got in early, let the market do its thing. And my next two entries, as you can see, waiting for price to break and close below. I meant to also waiting for the pullback and retest. So this was the area that I was looking for, and look at it. Breaking candle. Here's the breaking candle. This candle closed below. This candle pulled back, retested, and now we're eating off of the trade. So I wanted to see this scenario play out right here that I drew on my chart. And guess what? It did. Not only that, I have the RSI telling me as well too. You can kind of see a breaking retest on the RSI. So what I started to figure out was, man, the RSI actually can show me breaks break and retest. I can kind of identify market structure with using the RSI, right? Well, what do you mean? Well, look right here. So I have above the 50, that's the line of demarcation between buyers and sellers. Every time it came down to the 50, it kept buying up until we broke that 50, right? And it went lower. Notice how it pulled back, created a little lower high. And how can I tell? Because it's sloping to the downside. It's sloping to the downside. So now I just have to go up to my price and see if I can see that same scenario. Well, here's that scenario right here. I see a low, a lower low, break, close below, push lower, pull back and retest as a lower high, take my trade. I take my trade. So it's super simple, right? It's super simple. I don't have to have a bunch of indicators on my chart. It's just, for me, it's just easier to do it without it. But if I want to, let's say, check my work, then yes, I will say, okay, what does my 50 and the 4, my teacup strategy tell me? What does the MACD tell me? Right? What do my tools tell me? If I can't really tell with one tool, I'll just look at another tool. And I'll just use that. I'll just use that. So I like using the MACD because it helps me to identify a really strong trend. Also, when the market pulls back as well. So that's the reason why I like using the MACD. It helps me to stay in my trades just a little bit longer. Yeah, it helps me to stay in trades a little bit longer. I'm able to spot different aspects of the market like divergence as well. Am I a big divergence trader? No, I just know about it, okay? I know about patterns, I know about divergence, I know a lot of stuff, but again, I don't need everything, okay? I don't need everything. I like to keep it simple for Micah because that's what helps Micah make his daily bread. All right, so that's it for me. I like to open up the floor for questions. Maybe if you're watching this video and you have some questions, shoot me a message. I will post some information on the YouTube channel as well. But Miss Yolanda, Miss Veronica, you all have any questions?
No, but thank you. That was very good information.
No problem. No problem.
Yeah. Just have to really, yeah, good stuff.
No problem. Well, I'm anytime. You have the videos to go back and watch as well. So if nobody has any questions, I look forward to seeing you all on Thursday. We will review this week's trades as well and kind of talk to you guys about journaling and mindset with trading. So can't wait. We'll see you on the next call, which will be again Thursday morning around, let's say, 7 o'clock. All right, so I'll catch up with you guys later. Peace out.
Thank you.
No problem.